Hello, everybody. I want to talk about something with you guys today. I want to talk about streaming. And no, we're not going to talk about Kick. We're not going to talk about Twitch. We're not going to talk about the rivalry. We're not going to talk about the bands. I want to talk about streaming in general and give you guys my perspective on what to expect. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dan Prevails. I've been streaming since I was 15. 2012. I am 27 now. I believe those are the correct years. Been streaming for a long time, actually longer than most of your favorite streamers have been streaming or even heard of streaming. I streamed on a website called YouNow. I was there for many years, on and off, took long breaks, and I've had some success on it, had a lot of ups and downs. Eventually I moved on to Twitch, and that's where I'm at now. And I'm having a blast on there. But I want to tell you guys what to expect if you're going to go into this world of streaming and content creation. I think a lot of people try to tell you guys, the mountains and the great stuff that can happen from it, and don't really tell you the reality of what it could possibly turn out to. And I'm here to tell you that. And this isn't to discourage you, but just to give you an idea of what it can be. Now, let me first say this. I am not a successful streamer. I'm going to put that out there in the grand scheme of things, and I think a lot of people's eyes and other streamers' eyes and whatever, I'm not a successful streamer in the grand scheme of things. Not saying I haven't been a happy streamer, I haven't had moments of success, but I'm not a cookie cutter successful streamer. If I'm not, partnered, pulling over 100 views, I made a living off something for 13 years, I think in a lot of people's eyes, I'm not successful. But let me tell you some stuff that I have learned that maybe you can apply it to yourself. First off, what introduced me to streaming, I gotta give credit to where credit is due. It's DashEXP. DashEXP, if you're watching this, dude, I've watched you growing up, loved your videos. There was one day, I think you tweeted about it or you made a YouTube video about it, talking about going on YouNow. If you guys know what YouNow is, it was a popular streaming website back in the day. It's still around, not really sure where it's at now. But you're the one who pretty much introduced me to streaming. But the person who really got me to stream was this other streamer, not really streaming anymore. His name is M3. My opinion, a pioneer in streaming on YouNow. None of you guys probably know of him, but back in the day on YouNow, he was a really massive deal. That was a dude who got me to stream. Started when I was really young, when I was 15 years old. Turned on my webcam, my mic, and instantly fell in love with it. I truly fell in love with it, man. And it came easy. Also, by the way, on YouNow, it was very savage to stream. All right, let me just paint a picture. Streaming on YouNow back in the day, there was a queue. Let's say I was in the guys channel. All right, the guys streaming channel. I'm up, and there's 40 other streamers behind me waiting their turn to stream. Each minute, viewers can vote to keep me on or get rid of me. All right, so you can kind of see where this goes. A lot of times, if I feel like I did pretty well, so most of my viewers would keep me. But if somebody who was in the queue, who was maybe 4th or 20th in queue to stream, and they have to wait for that number one person to get kicked off, they could just tell their viewers, hey, in the last 5 seconds, we're all gonna vote to dislike this guy, get him out of here. Yeah, it became like a thumbs dislike war, and that happened for a couple years. It was fun, but eventually YouNow kind of got rid of that idea and anybody can stream. I had some fun on there, some ups and downs, met a lot of friends, went to some conventions, and was in a streaming group for a while. Eventually left it, and it was kind of on my own. And because of YouNow, I made a lot of best friends. I went to conventions, I traveled across different states here and there, VidCon playlists, different playlists as well. Met some of my really close buddies of mine from that. And, one of my best friends lived with me. She lives with me now because of YouNow. So she was a streamer at one point. She doesn't really do that anymore. Now she kind of does her own normal stuff. But I'm very thankful for YouNow. But, now I moved on to Twitch. And when I moved on to Twitch, that's kind of where I blossomed into something different. On YouNow, I was kind of just like doing the same thing for a while, gaining an audience from it. But on Twitch, I kind of joined right before COVID, before that big pandemic, and everybody was on Twitch. I joined right before, applied for a dating show. Shout out to you, Gondok. Because of you, I think you didn't really realize what you did, but I kind of got some inspiration from what you did. And did my own podcast. It was really successful for a while and did that for 2+ years and went on a bunch of shows, dating shows, game shows, podcasts. And same thing with Twitch. I made a lot of friends and some best friends I met in person. Went to TwitchCon, had a good time. Now, after all of that, like I said, I've had some success, but I've never really averaged over even 50 viewers. And let me just first say this. I take the blame for that. That's no one else's blame. I'm not trying to ask for pity or be like, oh, like that is on me. Obviously, I didn't do it right. I didn't switch it up. Or maybe it was not entertaining enough. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I did well when I did my podcast on Thursdays, but all my just chatting streams, and also I'm very limited to what my PC can do. I can't do much with my just chatting PC. So for all these years, you know, I've always kind of just went up and down in views, but never really stayed over 20. 15 was on a good day. 20 was like, I thought I was balling. And every once in a while I'll get a raid and it'll help out. But, you know, as many of us know, raids don't really stick around. You may gain 1 or 2 viewers from that, but that's really it. Now, let me just say this. When it comes to Twitch and streaming and the people you can meet from it, you will meet some incredible people, just like anything else in life. When you're in a community of something, there are people of all sorts, great people, bad people, whatever. You will also meet some really horrible people. If you're going to go into streaming or anything in life, but in this specific case, streaming or content creation, you're going to meet some annoying, horrible people. All right. When you go to conventions, you're going to meet some horrible people. Sometimes they may not even be bad people, but you just may not vibe with them. You may just not click with them and you may have a bad taste for them. But there are some people who are just bad, like horrible, really bad people. And, you know, I've been backstabbed a couple of times from people who I thought were my true friends. And it is hard because this is, you know, an on-stream thing. I made a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends from online. I have a lot of long-distance friends. And then when you finally meet them in person, it's not really what you think they're not really what they turned out to be. And it's kind of sad because you spent so many years, hours, months getting to know somebody, whether it be on stream, a Discord, call, whatever. The meeting them in person can just crumble all of that. And sometimes, you know, again, it's just you guys may not click. And sometimes that might even be you. Maybe you might get some shyness or might get some anxiety, or maybe you in person are just not the person you are on stream. And that's normal. I think a lot of times on stream we have a up level of confidence and are, you know, we're able to speak as much as we want and freely as we want. But when you go to, you know, meet somebody in person, it's not the case. That's not the case. I've been doing this for many years, for 13 years, and there's times in the beginning where I met people and I had to get over that shyness, that hump. I don't think I've ever really came across as rude, and if I ever did, I'm sorry. I feel like I've always been myself, more of the laid back type of person. But from what I've learned, you will meet some horrible people, but you're also going to meet some great people. I made some of my best friends in life because of streaming. It's not something I ever, you know, take for granted. I'm very grateful for everybody I met. The things I would also recommend you guys not to do, I feel like a lot of people try to tell you what to do and how to become a successful streamer, but nobody really tells you what not to do. And I feel like I can offer that to you with a pretty expertise opinion. Don't just stay in one bubble. All right. I think one of my biggest downfalls was I never really ventured outside what I was comfortable in. For example, posting on TikTok and YouTube and all this other stuff. Also switching it up. I mean, the more and more you do the same thing and not see this different results, nothing's going to change. Nothing's really going to change. In this world, in this industry, in streaming, it's really true. The more you put in, the more you get out. But if you keep putting in the same thing and not getting the results you want, nothing's going to change. And I know people are going to say, well, what about this person? No. There are exceptions to that. Some people get very lucky. Some people just pop off. Some people just, whatever the case may be. But the majority of people, the majority of streamers out there, content creation in general, but streamers, the more you put in, the more you get out. But please do things differently. Find something that works. If you found something that works for you, a niche, stick with it. Awesome. If it's working for you, there's not much need to change it until you feel like you need to evolve. All right. But if you're just doing the same thing, like I did the same thing for many years, And all my moments of success really shown when I did something different. And it's hard for me. I don't know why. I will take that. It's hard for me to. I'm not really a creative person. I think a lot of times people think we're really creative people. If you do social media, you must got a creative mind. No, I just, you could put a script in front of me and I'll rock and roll with that. But if you tell me to come up with an idea, I'm not great at that. I'm just not good at that. And all the small ideas and big ideas I have come up with, they did pretty well. They did pretty well. But just don't be afraid to do things that you're not comfortable with. All right. Obviously, you know, stay within your boundaries, but try to be uncomfortable to grow. Put yourself in situations to grow, just like in life. Okay. You're not going to get better staying in the same spot every single day. You gotta put yourself in uncomfortable situations to grow as a person, and in this case to grow as a streamer. Do things different, grow out, get out of your comfort zone, go on a dating show, go on a talk show, go on a podcast, go meet people, do things different, do a different idea, even post on TikTok and YouTube shorts and whatever. Do that. Just don't stick to streaming Call of Duty every night for 5 hours thinking something's gonna happen to you, because it's more than likely it really isn't. It's a really hard industry to grow and pop in. But if you're able to pop in, if you're able to find that thing that works for you, stick with it. But just do things different. Lastly, what I hope to accomplish and my message to you guys is this. My goal is to really show you guys from my mistakes what to do and not to do. I'm kind of just like in the old mindset now. Like, I feel like my job is in this society is to kind of get the next generation prepared. Okay. I offer a very unique perspective because, again, I've been doing this. This is all I know. This is literally all I know. I started this when I was 15. I gave up a lot of things. I sacrificed a lot in life to continue to stream and pursue content creation and all this stuff, social media. And, you know, do I regret it sometimes? Do I regret dropping out of college? Do I regret not going to being a nurse and further than that? Do I regret, you know, sometimes being piss poor and like wondering like, damn, did I make the right decision? You know, sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I do get those thoughts like, damn, maybe I chose the wrong path in life. Maybe I wasn't supposed to drop out. Maybe I shouldn't have quit that job. Or is this ever gonna work out for me? But I will say this, the one true thing that gets me up every morning, every night, the one thing I truly love to do is to entertain, and anything with a microphone is something I want to do. I would never in a million years go back and take away my streaming career, everything I've done, the friends I've made. I would never take that back, ever. But I will give you some advice, is to have a backup plan. Pursue this, put your all into this, because in life, you got a good chance in, you know, failing in something you hate to do. We all have a good chance of failing in something that we hate to do. So you might as well go after something you love. All right. There's a lot of people out there that hate to get up in the morning and hate to work their everyday job. You know, a lot of people hate that. There's a lot of people, that's just the, you know, the reality. That's just the reality. All those people that, you know, you look up to took a chance on something they love. And though they may have failed in their career, they got there. In life, you have a chance to fail in something you hate. So you might as well have the balls and you might as well have the guts and to chase something you love. Learn from my mistake. Learn from my mistakes and learn from your favorite streamers who are successful. And you'll probably get a lot further in the life than I ever had. What I hope to accomplish by the end of next year is to really make a career out of this. I made some money, but I never made enough money from this to be like, I can make a career out of this forever and ever and ever. I do hope at the end of next year I can go full-time streaming and live the life I always envisioned to live, because it is possible, but I just gotta put the work in. Learn from my mistakes. I wish you guys the best. Again, over 13 years in this streaming industry, I have some advice to give you guys. You can take whatever I said in this video and run with it or forget about it. But that's just my 2 cents. So much love, guys. Stay safe.